Guys, welcome back. And in case you're wondering why I have all my Ninjago figures here, it's because I'm going to be discussing Ninjago Season 10, um, episode 4, or Ninjago Episode 98, endings. And when it said endings, I didn't think that literally meant the end, but this is it, guys. As Tony Stark would say, part of the journey is the end, and this is the end of Ninjago. This is incredibly emotional for me, because this is the end of this chapter. This is the end of these characters that I've grown up with for how long? Like 8 years? I think 8 years, right? 7, 8 years. And I've grown to love these characters, and this really is the end. This is the final episode of this chapter. Now, as we already know, there's going to be a new character based off of that one girl who is like sick and she was um, dying or something, like she had that sickness, and then the writers of the show decided to incorporate her as a character into the show. So we know that will happen, but I assume that will be in this future series. But this is the end, and they did the unthinkable, which I thought was never going to be possible, which is they gave us a fulfilling ending to this series, and this is incredibly satisfying for me. This ending was perfect, I think. There are issues with the episode, which I'll talk about first. They never really specified in this season how the Oni works, how the darkness works. I thought it was if you touch it, or if it drags you in and touches you, then you get frozen, as showed in the first episode. But as we saw at the end of the last episode, Cole landed in the Ninjago news station, so he wasn't necessarily like outside, and he goes outside at one point and is able to get to the Earth Driller. But I just didn't understand how that worked. So like, because it shows the mist covering him at the end of the last episode, which was a purposeful misdirect, because this episode starts and he's fine. So yeah, I don't really understand how the timeline works there. I think that he wakes up at the same time the ninja are doing all their other shenanigans, but I think maybe when we saw him at the end of the last episode, that was like a few seconds before he wakes up. I don't understand that, but like, you almost see the Oni tendrils enter the Earth Driller, and you see them kind of almost get out the door when he's closing the door to that room. I think they do get out, but that was a little weird. They never specified that. It felt weird because the ninja go back to the monastery. So now I understand the monastery is above the clouds, so the Oni darkness didn't reach it. So I understand that part of it. But we was like, how did it work out with the realm crystal? But like, they were already on the ship when they decided to go get Garmadon to take them to the realm crystal to guide them through. So Wu wouldn't know about the realm crystal unless they contacted him in between episodes and they just didn't show us. But that might be a little bit of a plot hole, because Wu's like, what about the realm crystal? Like, he doesn't, like, he shouldn't know, right? I don't know. That's just kind of a nitpick, really, to be honest. Also, the ending just felt a little bit, not cheesy, but it felt a little bit, like, too easy, like, oh, we're gonna use the power of creation to save the day. And it just immediately gets rid of all of the darkness. Like, the darkness covered the entirety of Ninjago, not just, like, a little bit. Like, a giant, like, one tornado of creation shouldn't be able to do all that, but going back to that, that's also a good thing, because this series ended the way it started, with the ninja coming together for the first time, creating the tornado of creation in one of the first episodes, in the pilot episode, and that's just incredibly satisfying to me. This episode made me almost cry, but not because of, like, sadness, but because of happiness and just joy. That this season ended in, like, a perfect way. It ended in a satisfying conclusion, which I never thought they would be able to pull off. And I do actually think, because it says the end at the end of this episode, and by the way they do it, I think this is the end. I think this is the ending of all of it, all this chapter, these characters. So maybe this new character about the girl who is sick is going to be, like, one of the ninja's children. But this story with these characters is over. I'm positive. This is the end. It's called Endings, and I don't know where Garmadon went. It was just, there's so many satisfying things. So basically, what happened is, after the end of the last episode, Kai and the rest of them go back to the monastery. That's another problem, is they end the episode on a cliffhanger, like, Kai's gonna have to forge the golden weapons, and it's like, oh, it's gonna be like, I was hoping it would be like an epic thing with ups and downs, because Kai was never that good, but it just seems like the second they get there, he's like, oh man, I really hope that I don't mess this up. But then when they get there, he's just immediately like a pro. He's just a pro. He's like sweating. He's just like hammering them all golden weapons back together. It just felt too easy. It just felt a little bit too easy. Like, okay, oh man, I really don't think I can do this. And then like he just immediately does it, and it doesn't sell the idea that he was nervous or that he's bad at it. Like, he just immediately does it as if he's a pro. And that bothered me. But I did like he wore his classic overalls from the first episode. That felt nostalgic. And just getting all the ninja, getting back the golden weapons was just, that was so cool. It just felt like nostalgic and amazing. I loved that so much. And then a moment that literally, I was just sitting here in my room, watching the episode on my computer, and the moment made me clap. When the ninja are getting taken down, and then Cole comes right in with the earth driller, just coming up out of the ground. So satisfying, just, yeah! Cole comes in there with the side of the quakes, like Thor in Infinity War, smashes it down, takes out the Oni. Man, that was just so satisfying. Love that so much. That was the one moment where I literally clapped, and I was like, yeah, and all the ninja, like, the second Cole showed up, all the ninja were just like, Cole jumps in the air, grabs it, smashes it down, and the second Cole's there, the ninjas just get this rush of hope, and just, like, this charge of energy where they're just ready, and then they just go in there, and that was just awesome. And then I really liked Garmadon's sort of little arc where, like, the Oni is like, you are Oni in form, but in your heart you long to be one of these. You long to be one of them. You long to be a part of them. And it's like Garmadon used that kind of lesson where he talked to Vinny from NGTV News in the last episode of, like, family is important, and creation, and at the end of the episode, the first Spinjitzu Master says, you, Lloyd, you made creation by love and compassion. And that shows that the reason how Garmadon was able to use Spinjitzu is because he used that power. He used what he had learned, compassion and love, and was able to put it into this and join the tornado of creation. And I just thought that was immensely satisfying. And I love how when they think Lloyd's dead, Garmadon just stands there, he doesn't know what to say. So he's still kind of, I don't know what they're trying to imply, like maybe he still doesn't know how to love, or maybe he's just learned how to love, and he doesn't understand what to do, and then he just kind of leaves at the end, and that's just really great, is that Garmadon's just left, and they know he's not going to do anything evil, because he's learned how to love, and he's learned compassion, and he's learned how to use the power of creation, and light, and he's going off on his own adventures, and Wu just kind of looks at him, and you see the faintest glimmer of a smile appear on Garmadon's face, and then he leaves, and Wu is like, goodbye, brother. Oh my gosh. That was just so great. And this episode has a problem, which I'm really mad about, is that they make it seem like Lloyd's dead. And that would have been great to end off this chapter, is have it end. And Lloyd has this kind of moment where he appears to the first Spinjitzu Master in this weird vision. So that world that we thought was Chima was not. It was like this weird, like, it's kind of like the Lord of the Rings, or like going to the Grey Havens or whatever, to the White Shores at the end of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's what it kind of reminded me of, is like the first Spinjitzu Master appears to him. They still don't show his face. I love that. But he says, you can go back to Ninjago, and you can still use the power of, and you can take up your mantle as the Green Ninja, or you can come with me, and you'll be happy. You'll be happy there. And I was like, I don't really know what to think of that. And then he goes with him, but then he appears back in Ninjago, and he's confused, and the ninja are all like, oh, what the heck, Lloyd? You just bumped your head really hard. But he knows that the first Spinjitzu Master said he would take him somewhere. But we know that, like, he was there, and the first Spinjitzu Master said he was going to take him to a place where he was happy. So that shows that Lloyd maybe doesn't understand at this moment but this was the place he was taking him to. So it means that what I got from that is that Lloyd knows no matter what the challenge is, no matter what hardships there are, and it's kind of showed through Lloyd and through Nia and Jay, with their bond and their love, that no matter what challenges come ahead, he's got his friends, he has his family, and no matter what hardships are, he's always happy there. And I think that's what I got out of that, is that he's always going to be happy there because he has his friends and his family. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought the Garmadon's arc was beautiful, and I thought Lloyd's sort of arc was beautiful. And it's kind of weird because it veers away from the whole Cole storyline. Like, this was supposed to be focused on Cole. But yeah, I don't know. Cole's kind of, the resolution of that felt a little too easy. Like, I thought Cole would turn evil or something. But no, he just kind of comes back, and that was an immensely satisfying moment, but it felt kind of anticlimactic. Like, they give you a cliffhanger with the mist covering him, but he just wakes up and he's fine, and then he shows up, and they're all like, yay. But yeah, it just felt a little bit unsatisfying that Cole just came back with, like, they could have cut out that whole part of it where Cole died, and it added, well, no, they couldn't have, actually. Oh my gosh. Because Cole dying showed Garmadon how to love, and so since he loved Cole, like, Cole died, they thought he died, and then that's where Garmadon kind of started to learn how to love. And then at the end of the episode, after at the end of the episode, after, like, they think Lloyd's dead and he's not saying anything, it's because he knows he loved his son. But just like they said, it's hard, but he loved someone. He knows that he loved, but, like, losing people is part of life. So he knows he loved, but he just doesn't know what to say, and I think that's incredible writing. I don't know what I was going to say there. I was going to say something, but I think this is such incredible writing. The Hegemons, thank you so much, guys, for just giving us, Ninjago fans from the very beginning, a fulfilling ending to this show. This just made me so happy that they actually gave us a fulfilling ending. So there are issues with this episode that I had. Like, Kai just kind of randomly he's kind of worried, but then suddenly he's just kind of, like, immediately, like, a pro at forging, and Cole's resolution of that plotline was kind of unnecessary, or was kind of annoying, but still it kind of tied into Garmadon's arc, which I really appreciated. But the resolution to the whole Cole falling down was very anticlimactic. They don't really explain how the Oni works, and it felt a little bit too satisfying that, like, they were just able to, just, like, the power of creation takes them out. But I still think that's so great that it started the way it ended. It started with Kai in the blacksmith shop with Nia, and he couldn't forge. But at the end, it shows how much he's learned, and he's able to forge the golden weapons back into the weapons of Spinjitzu, and form the tornado of creation. And I like how Garmadon looks at the wall in the mural, and it shows the Oni tendril covering Lloyd, and then he realizes what he has to do. I just think that it's just so good. The storytelling and writing is so deep, and there's meaning underneath here that younger people won't even get. And there's probably some meaning in here that I didn't even get, but this is just incredible writing. I honestly don't know what to say. I love this episode a lot. There are issues with the episode itself, but as a fulfilling ending to the series of Ninjago, this is immensely satisfying, and I think it's perfect. So, yeah, I've said a lot of stuff about this. But yeah, so in a way, Kai's thing where he's just immediately able to forge it is kind of annoying, but at the same time, it's kind of satisfying because that's where it started, and it shows how far they've come. I thought it was great that Jay proposed to Nia. I just felt so, like, done. Like, I felt like they were all like, let's show them what we've got. Like, they've been beaten down. They're here, they're cornered back at the monastery, which is a great place because that's where the series started and that's where it needed to end. And the final showdown happened there, and the ninja, it just shows them the Oni are breaking through, and that's when Jay realizes he has to propose to Nia. He's like, Cole's like, you chose now, and he's like, there might not be another time, and I think that's great. I think that happening right then was actually important because it helped the tornado of creation. The creation, like the first Spinditsu Master said, was a part of was thanks to love and courage and kindness and compassion, and them just Jay just proposing to Nia in that moment, I think strengthened that moment of, and I think it strengthened the tornado of creation. So yeah, this is like basically every Ninjago minifigure I have, mostly. Maybe there's a few missing, but this is pretty much like a lot of them. This is most of them. So yeah, as a fan of the show from the beginning, I am immensely satisfied with this ending. The first 2 episodes of this season I still don't like that much, but I probably should have been a little easier on them because now, with the full picture, this season ending, it fixes a lot of the issues I had with those first 2, but I still think they leave a lot to be desired, and I still don't like those that much, and I think they're still pretty bad. But I would raise the rating, definitely, on those 2 episodes to, like, maybe a B+, or a B, like, I think I give the first 2 episodes, like, a B+. I think I gave the last episode an A-, and I'm gonna give this episode an A. There are some issues holding it back, but as a ending to the Ninjago series, this is a perfect ending, and I can't wait to see, since we know there's going to be this new character, maybe these will be the children of the ninja, maybe these will be new ninja taking up the mantle, we don't know, but I hope that they continue this series. I hope they bring in some new great writers, because, the Hagemans, thank you guys for bringing this out on a perfect note, and, I just hope that whoever they bring in next can actually write a season, and don't write it like Day of the Departed or Hands of Time, because those sucked. Don't at me. But, yeah, so, yeah, I just, an immensely satisfying ending, so I'm gonna give this season overall an A, and this episode an A, the first 2 a B+, and episode 95 and 96 get a B+, episode 97 gets an A-, and this episode gets an A, and the season as a whole gets an A. It's an exceptional ending to the series. The first 2 episodes leave a lot to be desired, but the second 2 are great. And this is a great ending to the series, and there's so much depth and meaning behind it, and messages and themes. It just, Hagemans, thank you. You are incredible writers, and I hope you move on to write more incredible things. And I can't wait to see where the series goes. So yeah, you guys let me know what you thought of my review of Ninjago Season 10, Episode 98, and what you thought of Ninjago Season 10 as a whole, and let me know where you think the series will go now, in, like, a new direction. Let me know what new direction you think it'll go in, and, yeah, so you guys let me know what you thought of Ninjago Season 10, March of the Oni, in the comments, and I also love that they actually finally had the march up to the monastery, like, they finally had the march. I was like, when are they gonna march? Why is it called March of the Oni? And they finally marched. I'm just joking. But yeah, that is satisfying that they finally marched. So you guys let me know what you thought of my review and what you thought of the season in the comments. And I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.